We'll turn our attention to the message group. You have expanded overseas. How many countries are you in now?
We've got an office in Singapore and an office in Perth, but we have clients in probably 18 different countries. I think 18 was our last count. And that's a real challenge because suddenly you're dealing with languages, translations, different, even in Chinese, there's so many different
variations.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's tough, it's impossible for me to understand. So then we have to put a greater reliance on people who speak those languages, and we pay the good money for the good translators because we know darn well we want the translated product to be equally as entertaining and creative as our English product.
What was the desire to get, well, was it a desire, or how did the overseas transition happen?
I knew of a guy that had set up a company in Singapore and he was interested in selling, and he approached me, and then we had in our office various meetings about, do we want this expansion, this potential drama or excitement? And I thought, well, I like Singapore, and I think it is probably the most Western of the Asian countries. It's on the same time zone to us. It's as close as Sydney is, and it gives us this marvellous ability to have a different strain to our business. So we decided to take the punt. We bought that business and it paid off in very short time. And it's made us a better company too, because oftentimes we would have clients like Canon in Sydney would say, oh, we've had a call from our Taiwan office or whatever, they've heard our messages and they're interested, and in the past we'd say, well, we're not interested, we can't do that. But through Singapore we can say, yeah, we'll do any language up in that region because there's enough voiceover people and we have enough contacts in Singapore that we felt confident in offering that business. So it added a great string to our business that we never had.
Free trade agreements, very relevant at the moment, and a lot of people I talk to are really considering expansion into Asia, purely where our position is in Perth. What would you say to some of those people that are considering that? What are some of your learnings out of that experience? You mentioned language. Was there anything else that you would advise people to consider?
Yeah, there are a lot of heartaches, although thankfully I've managed to palm that off onto my general manager, who has been exceptionally good at it and perhaps a bit more tolerant of it than I am. But certainly one of the key things is understanding the culture, and often we would do things, we would say, oh, let's do something for the staff member, let's send them that. Oh, you can't do that, that's an offensive thing. Oh, okay, thanks for telling us. Or just different ways of doing business up there. It's never what you think, unfortunately. But the other thing is we've always been very keen to impart our psyche on our staff up there. And we've had to send up staff members from Perth, high up staff members from Perth, to make sure that that's ingrained in our Singaporean staff, because we don't want Singaporean staff and clients to have a different experience to what we're having here. That's what's made us successful here. We have to be able to replicate that there for us to be a success.
Yeah, and the customer service element of your business, you're very passionate about that. You're well known for that area. Is that the solution to expanding that customer service culture in the other countries, simply by sending staff there, or is there other things that you do to ensure that it's inbred in that business?
It's not like we can take exactly what we do here and then translate it up there, because there are some things that just don't work, and it took us a while to work that out and cost us some money to work it out. In terms of what are the secrets, there is no secret. It's just trying things, and if they don't work, stop them quickly. If they do work, do more of that good thing. I don't think there's any great science in it. I think it's just a lot of trial and error, and I know a lot of businesses are frightened of actually trying something. They want to research it to the nth degree, whereas we're probably the opposite. We'll give it some thought and we'll think, yeah, I think this will work. Let's try it on a small scale, and if it doesn't, we stop, and if it does, well, we just get better at it.
Keep it simple.
Mm-hmm.
Why is the message group so successful?
I think we treat our customers in a way that they don't find anywhere else. And we'll so often get feedback saying, I don't get this response or this service from companies that we spend millions a year with, and we get it out of you for spending a couple of thousand or a few $1,000s a year. We have to make it easy because of what we do. We want the clients to be listening, or the callers to that business to be listening to something interesting and informative, and it has to work. But we can't make it the client's problem to update. So we say, right, we'll help you update. We'll drive the process, because we know that if we don't, that client won't update their audio production. At some point they'll think we're wasting our money and they'll cancel the service. So it has to be easy for them to do business with us. It has to be enjoyable. They have to feel good about us. So we put in place a whole lot of measures that achieve that end goal.
So the customer's front of mind through all of that. So how is that the key to that has helped you maintain your competitive advantage over time?
Without a doubt. And I'll give you an example. Our clients will often, or prospects will ring us and perhaps 2 other on-hold companies. When they ring us, they will hear a demo on that first call in many instances. So you'll ring us and you'll be having a chat with me and you'll tell me that you're from the Future Institute, and we'll ask you a few questions. And maybe 15 minutes into that conversation, maybe 10, one of our sales staff will say, well, how does this sound? And they'll play you 1 or 2 short messages about your business that we've recorded from what we've just listened to in that call. Now, you don't know this is going on. We don't say, hey, we're going to talk to you and write a demo. We're just going to say at some point, well, have a listen to this. Now, straight away, that blows you away, because unless you're expecting it, it's going to floor you. The second thing is when they ring our competitors, of which there are many in Australia, mainly smaller companies, a lot of guys or ladies that just record an audio tape at home and send it out to you as a little sideline, you're lucky to get a quote back from them within a couple of days, let alone a custom demonstration. So that's one aspect that clearly stands us out. And when a customer is faced with a decision, do they go with us or a competitor, they'll see our price and they'll see a cheap price here probably, or sometimes a greater price. But they'll always think, hey, they were amazing. Yeah. And that's when they're not even earning any money out of us. What are they going to be like if they actually start getting some money out of us? So that's part of our
comes back to that customisation that you mentioned.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. We don't want you to think as a potential customer you are just one of a number.